Hey there. I'm here to talk about day 6. This is, if you're still on schedule, Monday the 8th, and this is the day students will have brought their 3 elements of their collage to class, which they're going to work with their partner to combine and design around by the end of the day. So the point of this class is to continue cementing the concepts of visual rhetoric through the terminology of graphic design that we're working with, to get students practice sort of describing collages, which will prepare them for writing their design reflection, which is a key part of the project, and to get them working together for the first time on this kind of analytical task. So what you want to bring to class are printed copies of the CRAP quiz, which you'll find on Canvas under handouts, and some index cards for each pair. So 12, but bring a little stack. The first activity that we're going through today is the CRAP quiz. The way this works is, if you go to the day 5 collage that you used, the last 2 slides contain 4 pictures each, labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're different kinds of collage. Some of them are student-made, some of them are movie posters or artist collages. But what students are going to have to do on the quiz is for each term of CRAP, they are going to have to define it and demonstrate how it's being used in one of these 4 collages. They can reuse them if they want. Maybe one collage has both contrast and repetition, and that's fine. They can talk about both of those for the same one, but all 4 of them are there for them to choose among. You'll see there that there's a certain format that it follows for each of these. So I won't talk about it much here, just to say that they're going to be looking at these slides and taking a quiz on paper that asks them to point out things within the images that correspond to the terminology they're working with here of contrast, alignment, repetition, and those, whatever the last one is. After that, they are sharing and comparing their quizzes with each other. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to find like the best example of contrast that the 4 people in that group came up with. Maybe some of them will use the same one. Maybe someone came up with a really original one that nobody else noticed was contrast. And that's the one they want to share back. So you hear a few of those as it goes through. So far we've spent about half an hour of the class. Next up, I want you to talk about just digital tools they might use in these projects very quickly. You are not demonstrating how to use any of these tools. You are drawing their attention to them, really, more than anything. So if you're in a lab, you can have them open up Audacity, an audio editing tool. You can have them open up Camtasia, which is a video tool. You can do screencasts, but you can also record video if they're doing a video project. Maybe they aren't. Some of them might want to. PowerPoint is the easiest one for photo collages. You can simply paste pictures in it and align them as you want to. There's Photoshop. You might have them look at that too. What I would suggest is before class, you simply get on one of the lab computers or the podium computers and open up the programs and just be sure you know where they are. You can point them to ATUS in the library, who can help them with the specific tools and teach them how to do some of the things. Same true for the Student Technology Center. So you can send them that way for individual tutorial help. You should also remind them that any of these tools has a wealth of help options in the form of online forums or YouTube videos. So you might even start off by asking, who's done work with audio recording before? What tools do you use? Who's done work with photo editing before? What tools do you use? So there might be perfectly fine knowledge in the room without you having to invent anything. The point is, this is only 5 minutes. It's a way to get them thinking about how they're going to put this thing together. Oh yeah, and they can also do an analog version if they want to actually cut up photos and paste them to paper. that seems perfectly fine too. Just remind them that they'll need to scan it or take a photo of it so that they can turn it in on the blog eventually. Next thing that you should do is go over the homework. Here, their big homework is to bring in a rough draft of their collages for next time. That includes both the collage itself, which if it's a picture, they should probably print out, unless you're in a lab, in which case you can look at it on a computer. They can bring their own computers if you want, but they'll need to bring it somehow. And the design reflection, which is 200 to 300 words of description of how they built their thing, why they designed it the way they designed it. And they're trying to use the crap terminology as accurately and in detail as they can. They'll submit the, it's going to be due after midnight next class, so they're not going to have time to revise it very much from when we do the workshop to then. And I'll explain why next video. Once you've gone over the homework, you should have a good amount of time left, like 25 minutes, maybe 35 minutes, somewhere in that range. And that time is for the pairs to work on their collages. If you're in a lab, of course, they can start working on it right there. Might be a fun thing to bring them some big paper so that they can draw their way through it if you're not in a lab. But you're trying to give them as much time as possible to get that work done there. Anytime we're having them do partner work, it's logistically difficult for them to get together and work efficiently together. So I always try to build in time where they can do that during class time. At the end of the class, they have to stay there the whole time to work. At the end of class, I want you to collect an index card from them with a few details on it. Those are listed in the notebook. The provisional title for their collage. They might not have any idea what their title is yet, so you're asking them to commit to something that says what the theme of the thing is even. How clear they are with their design idea at this point. Some of them might have a very clear vision for what they want to build, some of them not at all, and you just want to get a sense of the range. How confident you are that you can actually create the thing by next class. And how and when you're going to collaborate with your partner. If it's all going to be remotely done, fine, just explain the plan. And they will hand these back into you. At the end of the class, you should look over their quizzes, not for anything more detailed than just to see what they said. You should also look through their index cards and see how confident they seem to be. All of this will really help you cue how you respond to them next class. None of these are details you really need to log down in a grade book anywhere. So, I hope that helps. Remember that the slides that you can use for the quiz are at the end of the Day 5 collage slides, the noticing challenge, that is listed under student example posts. You'll find it down there. So I hope this works out well for you. I'm really excited to hear how it goes.